Many of you know that I do not live in the US, and I have not since the pandemic. Oh, that has done so many things for me. And the biggest of them is distinguishing intellect from intuition, and how one will never fail you, and the other, you've been programmed in such a way that it will rarely work for you. Ooh, hold on. Coming out of the world of personal development, I used to love cliches. Ooh, and had quotes myself, that I used all the time. And in social media, I'd say things like, next decision better. Hashtags everywhere. Next decision better. Is there anything wrong with making your next decision better? No. But what is best when it comes to your next decision? Is that the things that you've been programmed to believe are better, and better to and for whom? Because when it comes to being programmed for productivity, which is what the US is all about in all of its social constructs, then when you are working on focusing on productivity, then your intellect is going to lead the way. Most people talk about their intuition, but they're not in touch. Before the end of this, hopefully I'll tie this up in a nice little bow so that you can start to understand the things that you've neglected. Not at all your fault, but it is your responsibility to get back to who you truly are and to stop numbing your intuition. I'll tell you a little bit about what my life has been since I left the U.S. When I left the U.S., my entire life had imploded. I left husband. I left a life that it appeared to the outside world that we'd really built something really good together. I left family of origin. When I say shit imploded, shit imploded. None of this stuff happened in a vacuum. Here's what you need to understand. Everything in your life has some momentum behind it. And when that momentum is about the programming, it can't help but to implode, because we've got a whole system in operation, but they've programmed you to operate in these fucking silos. Y'all, we're not built to operate in silos. We are energy, not people. That's the biggest thing. And that's a lot of what I've been talking about here since I left. Actually, the first couple years, I just sat my ass down. That's what I did. I sat my ass down. Everything was quiet all over the world. So where I lived, I spent most of my time outside in the sun, or at night looking up at the moon and the damn stars. I cut out everything and everybody. I promise you. I lived a life of absolute silence, where I did not hear anything from anybody. I'd long stopped watching the news. I'd worked close enough in politics to know that was some bullshit. And just for those of you who don't know, I started in news, so I was a news reporter. We live in fucking programming, all right? Ain't none of this shit real. And most of it has been to condition you through social constructs, to where you are living according to all that bullshit, and that's why you're so fucked up right now. That's why your life is so fucked up right now. And until you get away from the fucking programming and get back to who you truly are, what you fucking came here for, because we all came here in this time and chose it. You chose to be here. I heard this quote this morning that really just kind of aggravated me. And you've heard it too. And they attribute this to the Dalai Lama, but it hasn't been substantiated that that's where it came from. Nonetheless, it says, how you do anything is how you do everything. Now, pause for a moment. Think about that. I mean, how deep do you have to get to make that make sense? And this used to be me, I'm telling you, operating in intellect. Oh, honey, and in the personal development space, oh, I could pull in things from from all kinds of sources and quote the gurus in order to make that shit make sense. Here's why it doesn't make sense. Because if you are following your intuition, how you do anything will be determined by what your intuition is guiding you to do in a particular time. Not by what you did the last time, not by what you have refined in your productivity and through intellect. It's not by those things. That is not how those who were tapped in to their source and the oneness that is our world operated. It was not about establishing a particular way of doing things or looking at an industry and what they do and all of that shit. That's why this shit is collapsing, y'all. This shit is collapsing because it's not sustainable long term, because you've gotten so far away from the true good source that is running through each of us. And we've been so disconnected and so divided that it can no longer function. So getting back to your intuition will get you away from believing that how you do anything is how you do everything. Because if you do everything in one particular way, then that is programming. That is not source in operation. So instead of complaining about how shit is corrupt and collapsing, start looking outside of the box. Get out of the fucking matrix. And even some words are getting on my nerve. Is there a matrix? Yes. But do most people know what the fuck it is? No. It is just that everything you're looking at has been constructed. Goddamn. And if you are just living based on what's been constructed and what you've been programmed to do, be, and believe, then you are part of the fucking problem. The programming is for their advantage, okay? None of this shit was designed to work for all of us. There are a few who look like they were elevating because they're operating according to their intellect and have completely smothered their intuition. I am telling you, I used to be one who would take that fucking quote, how you do anything is how you do everything, and operate as if that shit is truth. I'd be pulling shit from everywhere to make that shit make sense. It's a lie. I said this before, I'll say it again, and I'll say it forever. There are people who have zero education, and I've met many of them since I've been out here, who are so much smarter than people with a whole lot of letters behind their names. Y'all, the letters, and I have some, are indoctrination. So all the pillars in our world that we've come to trust, all the people with the white jackets on, the letters behind their names, telling you who the fuck you are. I have a psychology degree. I don't believe in this shit at all. Do most people need therapy? Hell yeah, because of the conditioning. I'm telling you, there's a way to get away from the conditioning without having to go through their systems. When you get the courage, and I'm only talking to a small group of y'all because the rest of y'all are so fucking programmed, you gonna argue with me. I done stopped arguing with you motherfuckers who just want to stay there. Stay there. Because we all came here for different things. Some of you have to come back here and do this shit. Others of you have decided, fuck that. I ain't coming back here to do that. That's exactly what I did. That's why I left everything and everybody. So I could get back to my intuition, because it has never left you. It never left you. You left it. And the moment you turn back, baby, oh, and you start to align with your divine, and all the bullshit will start to fall away. There's a process to it. I think I'll be doing these every morning. See you tomorrow.